Hello everybody, this is Gr.3 and welcome to the episode. In this episode, I'm going to be using the Gr.3 Honda NSX at Sardegna. So hopefully in this episode, this build I'll be showcasing will help you a lot to gain some credits in GT7. I know I've been going back and forth between Sardegna and Tokyo Expressway 600, and I thought it would be a good time to do a new build using the Honda NSX Gr.3 car, which hopefully will be a big help. So if you want to go ahead and fast forward to the race and setup, you can. If not, you're more welcome to stay behind to showcase some other stuff in this episode as well. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this episode. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about in this episode is going to be Spec 3. We are currently about 16 days to go till Spec 3 drops officially in this game. I forgot to mention in the past episodes, but I'll be willing to actually purchase the Power Pack, which is going to be available as a paid DLC for December 4th. Looking forward to it. There's going to be a few things added to the game. If you go ahead and purchase this pack, as you can see, it's going to be to the far left. There's like a Columbus yacht that shows up. Now, unfortunately, this is only for PS5 users only, which is quite the sad part. So if you have a PS4, unfortunately, you will not be able to do this. Now, as you can see here, we got ourselves our own car class event. And also, it looks like our new cap level for the collector level is going to be level 70. We actually do have events that actually has the OG practice, qualifying, and race setting, just like they did back in GT4. So I can't wait to try that out in some of those races. And most importantly, I know there's been a lot of drivers, including myself, that have been waiting for a 24-hour event race. And it looks like that's going to be come to play. Now, I'm not too sure if it's going to be just for the Power Pack or what races consist of 24-hour events. Hopefully, if they do show up, hopefully it'll be a very big beneficial money purse involved, and that there'll be a lot of race events added to that. So in order to get the car, just go to Brand Central. It's going to be under Honda. You of course have two different liveries you can choose from. You can do the Honda Racing, or you can do the Castrol livery, whichever one fits your taste of your art style. It's going to cost about 450,000 credits, and of course it's a Gr.3, so there's the rest of the stats right there for the car. The car is also a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car with a turbocharger aspiration, so that means we're going to be able to put in a high RPM turbocharger for this car and see if we can really turn this car into a real threat beast when we go into Sardegna, and that is how you get the car. You can also win this car for free in the roulette ticket minigame system, but that's quite a slim and rare chance as well. But it'll always be available at Brand Central if you want to go ahead and just jump in there and grab it. So here's the livery I'll be using for this race. Now, if you want to go ahead and follow me in the game, here is some instructions you guys can do in order to not only follow me, but also follow some other players as well. Either it could be for liveries or race photos, fire suits, liveries, what have you, that you'd like to have in your own collection in the game. There's the instructions right there that you can follow. That way, if you do see my videos in the future, you can just simply follow me in the game. It'll be directly in my newsfeed rather than for you to mainly have to search it for your own self. That's the reason why I added it right there. But this is going to be a cool looking Japanese Red Bull race car livery. Looks really nice on that car, and that's why I chose for my race car. Here's a look at the setup. Here's the first page. If you want to go ahead and just pause the episode and quickly copy the numbers you see on the screen right there, and if you want to do the same thing for the other part of the list as well, I would highly recommend doing it as well. And this is actually going to help your car out, especially when it comes to turning into the corner. It's going to be a very unique handling, I would say. The car would actually gradually will get a nice bite into the corner. I don't think you have to worry about too much of it being a little bit oversteery. If it is, it's more of a stiff oversteer, which is quite a weird feeling in the car, but you should still have plenty of control in the car with its strange handling. So as we get started with the race, we're going to be racing in Free Map 1. Through the first part of this first stint, we'll have to do a little bit of fuel saving at the end of the first stint, but I'll showcase on why that's the case. For the car's pace, I think overall it's generally okay-ish. I could tell that the car really could not really pick up the pace, especially when it accelerates. I think that's because of its heavy set, and I can already tell that this car actually is a bit wider and a bit bulkier compared to most other Group 3 race cars that's out there on this race as well. But the handling, I would say, it handles very nicely, to be honest with you. And I'm doing this race with a controller, so I didn't really do any testing with a wheel, but I imagine for the wheel, it could be decently good. Hopefully, if you're a wheel user, hopefully this tune will help out as well. As we get to the left-hander turn, we're going to be held up just a little bit by the RX Vision, but we get ourselves a good run down the hill. We're going to get a little bit of that slipstream from that RX Vision, and then we're going to make a move on the Corvette as well, picking up double spots just like that. And you can just see the car actually does have a little bit of that sway motion as well, heading to that left-hand turn. So it's a quite interesting handling. It kind of reminds me of what Fernando Alonso's car did back when he was in Renault back in 05 and 06. It was that kind of situation where it had a very strange delayed oversteer motion, that type of deal. As we get to the first lap, we're going to find ourselves in P9, which is a decently good start for us in this race. And one thing I did realize is that this car actually has some decent fuel mileage as well, so we could possibly get an extra lap on the leader, and possibly, if we play our cards right, pit on lap 5 rather than pit on every 4 laps like we have been doing for the last couple of episodes with these Group 3s. So if we can find a way to actually turn this race into a 2 pit stop race, then that would be pretty good for our race strategy overall. As we get to the next checkpoint, we actually hit purple, which is no surprise. Everybody else is hitting purple since they're going faster compared to the very first lap. As we get up the hill, we're going to go ahead and catch up to the Toyota Supra with that help with the slipstream. And as you guys may have noticed, our car is going to be the best when it comes to pure straight line pace. Maybe not the best when it comes to acceleration right off the bat, but when it comes to mid to high speed, long straight speed, that's when it really begins to shine. And not to mention, but also the handling itself is really good too. Find ourselves in P4. We're going to be in this position for a long while, so we're going to go ahead now and fast forward to later in the race, lap 4. Now we do know the Viper is going to come in for a scheduled pit stop, so once the Viper does come in, we're going to take the lead. Before we start lap 5, we're going to go ahead and move our map to number 2. Hopefully that will give us a little bit of advantage to save our fuel for our car, as we got about 0.7 laps remaining for our car. As we finished up the lap, we actually did have to cuss for a little bit, but thankfully we were right there, right at the pit entrance. So we did lose a little bit of time right there, which I don't really mind. And we're going to go ahead and switch to a new set of medium tires. Now I do have all 3 compounds available, and I think the only compound that actually will work the best for this car is going to be the mediums. I did a test run with the softs, and it looked like the softs actually were good for about 3 laps, and then once it was like halfway through lap 3 or lap 4, the handling was just way off. It just did not want to do either turn right, or the car itself didn't have enough grip like it did earlier in the run. So as we got a pit road, we're going to make sure, look behind us, making sure it's clear, and it is clear. We're going to merge back on the track, and then we're going to go ahead and start our second stint. In this stint, we were able to actually do a better job when it came to saving tires and fuel. We're going to come to pit road on lap 10. This is going to be our last scheduled pit stop for the race. We're going to get ourselves yet another set of medium compound tires. And just like we did before with the first pit stop, it's going to be new tires with 100% chance of fuel. And that's going to be it for our pit strategy through Sardegna. But yeah, the car overall was pretty good. I could tell it was not really as ballistically quick compared to other Group 3s I've driven in the past, because the Supra I was running P2 behind us was still kind of there. I mean, we had a big gap between ourselves and P2, but it wasn't a real big gap. So as we get ready for lap 14, this is going to be our official hot lap for this race. I really recommend you guys watching this hot lap, and then I'll see you guys at the end of the race. So as we finish up this race, we did a 135.8, which was our fast lap on lap 14. We had a pretty consistent last run right there at the end of the race. We're going to go ahead and put the pole sitter, which is the Viper, a lap down, and that's going to be it for our race. So we did a 25.20, which was from 2 pit stops. Comparing it with my Ferrari 458 Group 3 I did a couple days ago, it did a 25.19, but that was with 3 pit stops. So that gives you quite a clear picture of what the pace is like with the NSX. So the NSX, it could do the job, but it's certainly not the fastest Group 3 race car that you can possibly do that's out there. But other than that, it did the job, and that's what's important. Got ourselves that clearance bonus, and that's going to be it for the episode. So for our next Group 3 build I'm going to do in Sardegna is going to be using the FT1 Toyota Group 3 race car. I don't think I've done this car before at this particular track, so I'm going to be quite interested to see what it can do in this particular race. I know the FT1 is quite a interesting underdog in my opinion when it comes to the Group 3s. I know usually when you think of Group 3s, it's either the Supras or the Mercedes-Benz AMGs, Porsches, cars like that. So I can't wait to see what this car can do. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. If you have any other suggestions, you're more than welcome to add them to the list below. If you want to check out the last episode I did covered, there it is right there. You can go ahead and check it out if you want to. And until then, hopefully you guys have a great rest of the day or night where it might be. And I'll see you guys later, and take care.